won it. So we'll talk to you about team news in a moment ahead of this one. The good news is that we are going to kick off in time. Here is the Pirates team. Two changes, and it's two full-backs that have been changed. Dion Hotto, the vastly experienced Dion Hotto, returns at left back in place of Gosko Nandaba, while Dino van Rayon makes way for Kamohelo Sibilibele to make a return to his to the side. And of course the side will be led up front once again by Yanela Butuma. Sipho Chain chasing more clean sheets. He's already set a club record. Now he's on 12 clean sheets. More clean sheets than he got all of last season. And we're just halfway through the season. Let's talk about the visitors here. Mamelodi Sundowns fresh off booking a place in the quarterfinals of the CAF Champions League. We'll get to them. Teko Modise, how do you expect what are your thoughts on the changes that have been made? They're like those two fullbacks that have been changed.
I think with those two fullbacks, I think it's just to have more aggressive approach, especially knowing that Hotto and Sibilibele, they will forever find themselves in higher spaces, and maybe just to counter press as well when Mamelodi Sundowns are trying to build from the back. But the three up front regular starters recently with Mputuma being very, very productive inside the box, with Rele and Apollo being able to play in between the spaces. We'll see them trying to operate in those spaces.
So just the two changes then from the team that defeated Marumo Gallants comfortably by 3-0. As for Sundowns, the team that got the job done against MC Alger in the CAF Champions League, they've made just the one change. Nuno Santos returns. He was suspended for that game, and he making way for him is Artur Sales, and Brian Leon picks up his third start of the season for Mamelodi Sundowns. He's already scored twice as the Colombian recruit. So Miguel Cardoso resisting the urge to change things too much.
You want to put some sort of consistency and some sort of momentum as well. We know that with Ronald Williams being the key member at the back, nothing has changed from the back. Ndamane also keeping his place there. But yet again, in the midfield, where maybe a little bit of dynamism as well with Adams, Morena, maybe Mudiba as well. But I guess what brings Santos into the team, that creativity that they're going to need with those passes that are maybe Matthews might be the one that benefits, and Leon as well. Leon coming into the game with high confidence after scoring those two goals.
The two captains gather in the middle. Our referee in charge is Mr. Alfred Chabani, who is taking charge of his 7th match in the Betway Premiership. He was in charge when Pirates beat Durban City away from home, and when Sundowns lost to the Manco Golden Arrows away from home. Also in charge when Sundowns beat Gomora in the Nedbank Cup. As Aslam Abdeslam Wadu, what a season he's having, this man. His first season for Orlando Pirates. Takes charge of his 30th match this evening. He has won 22, drawn 4 and lost just 3 so far in all competitions. Miguel Cardoso is a man who's been under pressure, but he's been stoic. He's taken it all in his stride. He knows very well about the pressure that comes with his jobs. He's man who's worked in North Africa. He knows all about the pressure, and it builds up with every match. This is a game, you get the sense, Teko Modise, Sundowns need to win more than Orlando Pirates.
Yeah, you get the sense of that, because you also want to narrow the points margin as well. You know, you don't want to open too much gap, but also being a team that has been experienced in such instances, it'll be very interesting to see then what's the approach against the Orlando Pirates that they need to win this game.
Look at how Sundowns lined up there for that kickoff, all of them on the halfway line there. What's the thinking behind that, Teko Modise?
I'll be lying to you, I know what's the thinking behind it.
We are underway at Soccer City FNB Stadium, the host for this match between these two sides. And usual, but it's not the first by any means. You'll recall they met right here at this venue last season in the second, and Pirates winning that one by 2-1. Willem Fuking getting a brace for the Buccaneers on that one, and he looks like Teko Modise, he is finding his best form once again, is Willem Fuking.
Yeah, I mean, he's picking at the right time, right at the second, round of the season, and also knowing that there's those lists that's going to come up for the World Cup traveling squad in a few months. So he's picking up very, very well, with the number of games that he's played, number of assists, number of goals as well, high confidence. And this is also the game that we really, really enjoys to play.
Chain enjoying his best season, as I said, by far 12 clean sheets already. And we just past the halfway mark for Orlando Pirates, match number 17 for the Buccaneers. Sundowns playing their 16th match. And actually Pirates, Mamelodi Sundowns last match in the Betway Premiership was the 27th of January. So it's been almost a month since they played a match in the Betway Premiership. With all the exertions in the club competition, and of course there's been Nedbank Cup action in between as well since we have resumed the program after the Africa Cup of Nations. Last meeting, this is of course a fourth meeting between these sides this season. They met twice in the MTN 8, of course, the two-legged semi-finals there. Both matches ending in 1-1 draws. Pirates eventually advanced into the final, 4-1 on penalties. And then the last league match was a 1-1 draw there at in Pretoria, where Shalulile had given Sundowns a lead. Let's have a look at what Maswanganye can do here. Grant Kekana stands his ground, continuing his partnership with Ndamani, starting to form a new understanding between them. Not a player that Grant Kekana has played many matches with. It's only a fourth starter for Kurumani Ndamani in the colours of Sundowns.
You want to have that understanding as soon as possible. Especially Ndamani helps that he's a left-sided centre-back, so you're able to have that fluidity whenever you build up.
Short one from Maswanganye, playing it with Relemo Foking. So will take it wide to Dion Hotto, looking to whip one in. It's intercepted there by Kurisa Mudau. Now there's a chance here for Mamelodi Sundowns to break down that right-hand side with or rather Tibo Mukwena of all people. Not the person you would see tearing down the wing often, and he's got himself a free kick, and there'll be a caution here for the skipper of Orlando Pirates so early on. Not even 4 minutes on the board, and he's already picked up a yellow. That's going to be problematic to Comedy Serpents.
Yeah, it's going to be one, because this is a game that, very, very emotional. There's going to be a lot of aggression on the, but I guess this intentional handball, on the counter-attack, that's the reason why he got that. And maybe the referee let it go because just to give an advantage to Tebo Mkwena. But yet again, being a skipper that wants to really, really make sure that Leon doesn't get enough space, it's going to be very, very tricky. But he's an experienced centre-back, captain as well. He will be required to use his experience throughout the game.
I think maybe he took one for the team there. He thought that if he let that one go, I'm not sure that Tebo Mkwena would have run away from him though. But he might have been able to put in a square ball for Brian Leon.
But also, you look at also from the set piece point of view, you look at the number of players that a lot of Pirates had inside the box. And that causes that because there was not enough cover outside of the box. That's why CBC had to really, really be in that position to commit a foul.
In fact, that was something that we saw on a couple of occasions in the Pirates game against Marumo Gallants, where they got caught once or twice on the break, particularly down the left-hand side of their defense, where Ndaba was operating. Ndaba, but caught out. In fact, in the early exchanges, Maruma Gallants should have taken the lead.
Yeah, with Otedisa.
Yeah, Otedisa had he been a bit more clinical.
Yeah.
And who knows what that could have done in terms of the course of the game. As it turned out, they were made to pay a heavy price. They were made to pay a heavy price with Maruma Gallants for not taking their opportunities, and that's what happens at this level when you play against the teams of the quality of Orlando Pirates. Clearance there! Oh my word! Talk about improvisation there from Norman Williams. Jeez, that was almost a terrible mistake by Grant Kekana.
It was indeed. I mean, look at the ball that has been played by Siema. Hotoday just, winning the ball inside the box. Yes, Grant Kekana trying to clear, but it wasn't cleared enough. But look at Hoto reacting with his right foot, but save there from this man, Ronan Williams. He had to improvise because he came bouncing from him.
Offside flag is up. It wasn't very cleverly played. And the near-side assistant, Kamusi Rasbisani, had his flag up. My word. You see Apollos with the pass back to Maswanganyu, is coming from an offside position. Look at this from Ronwin Williams. Oh, wow.
That deflection from Mudau, he had to, pull out a save like that. It's a brilliant save.
Oh, that is a world-class save. Contender for save of the season, because as you say, a shot comes from Hotto, and then a vicious deflection of Mudau, and then to pull off a save like that. Brilliant acrobatic stuff there from South Africa's #1. And that's based purely on him being Bafana's #1.
Exactly.
It's going to skid away. Just too much on that one for asking too much of Aubrey Mudiba. And he acknowledges that you overcooked that one as Kurman and Damani. Sundowns applying a high press here and winning possession. Looking good early on here on Mamelodi Sundowns.
Yeah, also you look at the pass there from Sipechane to Siama. It was too hard for Siama to be able to control because there was enough pressure from Santos to China as well. So those are moments that you need to be very, very careful as to then how then do you build up type of passes, the precision there, because you will get punished from these top teams. Both of them, they will try and counter press. Both of them will not allow each other to start playing from the back.
No. Now, this is the 7th time that this fixture has been played at this ground. The corresponding fixture last season was also played at this ground. Victory for this is good high pressing from Sundowns. This man was the hero that day, getting a brace. The 6 previous matches played in the PSL that were played at this venue. Mamelodi Sundowns have won 4 and Pirates 1. There's been 1 draw as well. Sundowns actually have an overall winning record against Orlando Pirates. It's the 60th time they've faced each other in the PSL era. And 15 wins for Pirates. Mamelodi Sundowns have won 27. With Pirates as the host, it's the 30th meeting between the sides. And Sundowns have won more than half of those games. 7 wins for Pirates and 16 for Mamelodi Sundowns. Actually, Chavani's already had to make a big call early on in the game on that yellow card. I don't think he had much of a choice, really. The deliberate handball.
But also, if you look at also the clips that happened against the Marino Gallants, they were caught like that. You should expect them to come into the game trying to rectify it. And of course, Mamelodi Sundowns is not a team that plays a counter-attack, but we have speedy players in front, so you need to be very careful. And I think that's when then Makaula becomes such an important player to be able to just to screen the 2 centre backs and also to allow this man Hotto to be able to go forward a little bit on the right-hand side as well.
Hotto complaining that he was fouled here by the fact that he was being kicked by Santos deliberately there. And you can see yourself there what happened, and that's why he's complaining so bitterly to the referee. Play will continue with a goal kick. In fact, when Pirates won here last season, they ended a 5-game winless run against Sundowns at the FNB Stadium. Back to Ronwin Williams, and Diba looking to control that one, keeps it in play, but is giving away possession. It's Billy to Makaula, who has re-established himself in that midfield role, Teko Modise.
He has indeed. I mean, in the beginning of the season, we saw Dooley being the one that operated in that role until he got injured, and Makaula was making his way from the injury. You know, he understands his role very well.
Could be Chance Butuma did it very well there, Maswanganyi, and almost getting in a perfect pass for Sbilibili.
That's why Sbilibili is in this team. Look at where he is. You know, when Orlando Pirates are in possession of the ball, he gets into those areas. That's why he is in this lineup, to be able to add numbers going forward. It was a good pass that been played, the best pass that been played by Swangani.
By the way, let's have a look at this. Swangani goes to crowd, and Sundowns will come away with the Tashrik. Matthews showed too much of it, and Sbilibili wins the ball. Apollos. That's a great ball, Apollos! And another stunning save from Ronwin Williams. Well, this one came straight at him, though. But what a ball to pick out from Butuma.
What a ball indeed being played there by Apollos, finding space. One would expect maybe for him to carry the ball, but he just took a glance inside the box. He saw Butuma then making that run. And Butuma, just unfortunate for him that he headed the ball straight to Ronwin Williams.
Oswin Apollos, who's already got 4 assists this season, along with Rele Mofokeng also on 4 assists. And you can see the quality of this ball in here. Have a look at this.
Yeah, you can see like he's taking so much time just to see what's happening inside the box, and good work that been done by Butuma as well, just to be able to free himself inside the box.
Questionable defending there. Grant Kekana wasn't even aware of Butuma's presence behind him.
Indeed, and I think maybe from a technique point of view, maybe Butuma, if we could have used his forehead, maybe could have had enough chance to be able to direct it whatever he wanted to.
Sundowns' last game in the Betway Premiership, a 1-0 win over Sekhukhune United, a team that Teko Modise, I think, may not win the title, because they definitely are in the title challenge here. They're in the title race for sure. They may not end up winning it, but it will have a massive say on where it goes. They have already taken 4 points of Orlando Pirates, and well, they lost in the first round to Sundowns, and they will be meeting them soon again.
I'm sure they still want to be part of that conversation. I'm sure they fancy themselves as to then whoever drop points, we still need to be just not far off to be able to just to, whenever we win points, we just change the complexion of the log. But this is the team in the beginning of the season. Eric Sinclair came out and said their ambition is to get 50 points within the league itself, and let's see what happens there. So they're still on course as to then reaching that goal.
Yeah, he had a wry smile and a quiet chuckle when asked whether they are in the title race at the weekend after they win over the weekend. He just said, look, we are up against some really tough teams, and we'll do what we have to do. Well, this is the 6-pointer, as they like to call these type of games. It is a 6-point swing for Mamelodi Sundowns, in that they either end up 9 points adrift, or they close the gap to within 3 of Orlando Pirates with a game in hand. Siema here colliding with Ufau, but I don't think it will be. Maybe just a bit of a just a bang to the side of the head, and maybe a little dizzy, but doesn't look too bad.
And unfortunately, in such games with so much crowd, it is going to be very impossible for Siema to even hear the shouts maybe from China. So those are type of games that really you need to rely on your teammates. You need to rely on the work that has been done throughout the season, because there's no time to pass information, because the crowd, it is so loud, and you can see now these are the moments that you can actually maybe share some sort of advices, but rather than that, it's very difficult.
Oh, that's a mistake there by Kekana. That massive deflection. In fact, it was going well wide, and then taken in the direction of goal by Mudau. And a brilliant save, brilliant acrobatic save from Ronwin Williams. And he's already made another as well. Now, the other end. It's good work. Good work, defense. Gamani, formerly of TS Galaxy, was teammates with Sbilivili. So he's good to go. Is Lebone Sema having a very good season. So I think we'll be pleased with what he's seen so far from his side, barring one or two mistakes there at the back.
I'm sure with those two chances that the Orlando Pirates had, maybe can be a little bit of a concern, especially early on to the game like this. But as things stand, you can see that these are two teams, two teams that are really, you know, every little mistake you maybe might be punished, but things are going to be equal. I think the most battle is going to be who then is going to be doing those overloads on the side, which you see Orlando Pirates are trying to do so.
Otto. In the Mufugeng scored an absolute beauty of a goal against Marumo Gallants. Just the type of goal that he has scored so many times. Now showing his pace, there's Morena. But, double teamed there. And then they're not losing possession. Free kick will go the way of Orlando Pirates here. Pirates beat Sundowns 2-1 in the corresponding fixture last season. It ended a 10-match winless run against the Buccaneers in the Premiership. That was the first win over Sundowns at home since the 2019-20 season. There's a skipper. Personatis basic. Looking for Sbilivili there. Tashrik Matthews gets a toe on it just as Apollos was about to pounce on it. Gwena gets the free kick. It's just being held back.
It just shows you, TT, that you know, the counter press that Orlando Pirates has been implementing in their games this season. So with two teams knowing how to counter press, it's going to be, you know, a little time being given to the midfielders to be able to think. So you need to be able to think a little bit quicker and make a decision faster.
Just snipped the ball behind there, did Apollos. There was something promising there for Pirates. Sundowns come away with it. Pirates with this fantastic record here at the Orlando Stadium. They have won, they've played 8 matches and won 7 and lost just the one game. Haven't drawn at home yet. The one team that came away with points from the Orlando Stadium was Kukune United much earlier in the season. It was in August when Kukune won here. 0-0. And it was Pirates got off to a rather stuttering start, losing their first 2 matches. And then, of course, with a new man in charge, there were a few alarm bells going off about which way the season might go. But my goodness, how they've turned things around.
And also, I think at that time as well, it was a lot of new players being given an opportunity to play. I guess maybe one of the reasons of complaining was why fix it when it's not broken? Because you're from a good season with all the players that are playing under Coach Rivera, and then new season, you're struggling. You've got all 8 to 7 players that are new, so that was a big concern. But look at where they are right now, with still all those new players being the one that commands the regular starting bed.
No, absolutely. Abdeslam Wadu has certainly been vindicated for trusting his principles and backing the players that he's brought in. They have all really impressed in their first season. Likes of Apollos, Nemtache, Siema. Mentioned Apollos already.
And then the most improved one, the Tuma right now.
Tuma has been fantastic, actually, you know. Player who had to do so much on his own. He's always been a hard worker. Even at Richards Bay, he worked hard, but he needed support. Let's see what Sundowns can do here. A rare foray into the box of Orlando Pirates. Basic. tidies up, keeping Brian Leon out. This Colombian.
It's one of those players, Leon, that will make the runs over the shoulder. So he needs to be tracked. You can see he makes that run just behind Siema. Good defensive work there from Silizi to be able to read that run and be just a little bit closer so that you don't allow Leon to be able to turn in that box.
Leon, who scored at the weekend against CRG. As the ball comes in, good catch and good confident, strong catch from Sipo Chain, who then runs into Leon. Dionato. Damani. By the way, there is another match underway this evening. Stellenbosch are taking on Makesi at home. They're at home to Makesi in a match that is at the other end of the table. We've got a top of the table clash here. That one involves teams that are in a relegation scrap. Bottom of the table, Makesi visiting Stellies, who are slowly trying to work their way up the table as Mudiba gets a little bump in the back from Nyentajela. But referee says it's a contact sport.
There's a lot of work that's going to be done by Nyentajela and Macau in that midfield to be able to cover those overlapping runs that will be done by Mudau, Morena and Mudiba on this side.
Nyentajela, Sipo Chain. Decides to put his boot through it. Now space, a little bit of space opening up here for Apollos offside. Both Mbutuma and Relemo Fuking were strayed offside. Fuking now on 3 goals for the season. As I said, Fuking seemingly is rediscovering his best form. Scored in his last 3 matches, so looking to make it 4 goals in 4 matches. This is good poke from Santos as he looked to a good work from Makaula. Just managed to get the touch there, get the ball away from Santos, who will be the man they'll look to be the creative force here, Nuno Santos. And I must say though, Mamelodi Sundowns, watching them recently, they've lacked that creative spark, what a Themba Zwane used to bring or brings to the side, you know. They missed Nuno Santos in a couple of games that he was suspended in the Champions League. And they do have Themba. They did have Themba Zwane, of course, weekend. And should he be called upon, he is available on the bench again tonight. It's Bilibi. King coming deep. He's fouled. Bit of a needless foul there from Aubrey Mudiba. Could easily have been cautioned for that.
Just shows you this type of game, TT, there's no way that you can put your emotions on the side. It is one of those games, especially knowing and understanding what it means for both teams in terms of the lock standing. It's always going to be those unnecessary fouls, and look at where also Mudiba finds himself.
The difficult pass there for Makaula to deal with, but and Sundowns have won the ball. Santos, Mudiba. This pass is intercepted. Good work from Pirates here, playing their way out of trouble. Nicely done. There's going to be a caution here. Tebo Mokoena becomes the second player into the book. Very good work from Orlando Pirates to win the ball back and try and play their way out of trouble here. Did well here, Maswangangi.
Indeed, and That was the first foul, but you can see the attitude that he has, still trying to stand up and still trying to continue with the play, because you can see that there is a space that he can actually get into, and then that forced then Tebo Mkwena then to bring him down.
He noticed he was aware that Masonganya was getting away from him, and decided to take illegal action against him. Here is Masonganya, can't get it past Ndamani. Jaden Adams. So what the idea was there was trying to slip it through for Tashriq Matthews. Jaden Adams is another one who looks like he's also starting to find a little bit of form as a polish. He's surrounded by yellow shirts.
I was thinking it was a good touch, but he turned the wrong way. And I think he had an opportunity just to go where he was facing. Maybe the game or the opposition maybe would have opened a little bit, but good recovery work been done by Mamelodi Sundowns, understanding the danger that Apollos possess.
It's been Apollos, who of course last season was with Polokwane City. City. Let's see what they can do here now. Rele Mofokeng cruises into the box and snapshot, but no real power from Dion Hoto.
Spoke about the overloads from the sides. The reason why Hoto is on the pitch, the reason why Sibili is on the pitch. Look at where he finds himself with an overload where he really has the ball. Finds himself in the right area. That is Hoto being able to have that snapshot that didn't trouble much Ronan Williams, but they are those type of overloads. They are the number of players of Orlando Pirates aiding going forward, and he becomes such an important player. That is Hoto.
John Hoto is now into his 12th season in South African football, having arrived here, been signed by Lamontville Golden Arrows. Gone on to play for Bloemfontein Celtic. Oh, a mistake here, could be problems. Ryan goes down under the challenge. Referee waves play on. I think good recovery from Orlando Pirates. Now they can hit on the break here. Mofokeng on the overlap is Hoto. Can he get a cross in? He does, but it's a confident Ronwin Williams tonight. In the bright orange matching the seats here at FNB Stadium. See what happens. The mistake. This is a challenge on. I don't think there was much in that at all. Back live. Simple chain gets it away and manages to find Rele Mofokeng. A couple of anxious-looking faces behind Miguel Cardoso there. Also on the bench there, Peter Shalulile, the man who's got the most goals against the Orlando Pirates of the current crop of players. All-time leading scorer in this fixture, Daniel Mambush Budau, 12 goals. Certainly was prolific in his day, was Daniel Budau.
I'm sure in such games, I'm sure we'll see Peter Shalulile maybe, making his cameo, because the last time these two met each other, he was the one that scored that goal.
Indeed. Half an hour gone. Still Pirates nil. Mamelodi Sundowns nil in this marquee fixture in the Betway Premiership. Elsewhere, it is also still 0-0. Stellenbosch FC against Makesi. 0-0 there. Looking at the possession stats there. Modiba, space finds Tashriq Matthews in a bit of space. Sundowns look to slow things down a little bit now. It was feature of Sundowns' game in the past was their patient build-ups. They like to rotate the ball and break down opponents via 1,000 cuts, death by 1,000 cuts, they say. But it's a very different Sundowns side these days. Now, what would you say for you, Tukomodis, has been different about Mamelodi Sundowns this season? Or maybe in the last 2 seasons under Miguel Cardoso? What's the most significant difference for you?
I think one, of course, there's 2 different coaches with maybe 2 different beliefs, but still want to win a football match by also being dominant on the ball, but approaching it differently. With Rulani, you'll see emphasizes on pockets, on triangles, on overloads. So maybe with the coach Cardoso is finding those overloads, but yet again, when there is a run forward, you need to play that ball a little bit quicker, be able to, unleash Leon Matthews as well. That's why, because the type of characteristic that Matthews has, we never saw in Croatia running Buenos teams, because they emphasize on passing.
This is good as Kuriso Mudau, great recovery from Kuriso Mudau. He's the best in the business, one of the best, if not the best in the business when it comes to those situations.
Yeah, 1v1 situation, it's always difficult. And I remember as well, when I was a winger, playing against such players, it just plays in your mind even before the game, like, how am I going to beat this guy? And already they've got one up against you, so that's very, very difficult.
Santos. Tewumkwena. Not a bad turnout at all here at the FNB Stadium for a Wednesday night.
We love football. We love seeing when we witness beautiful football, great results. We're coming out in numbers to actually support our teams.
And the one thing about Orlando Pirates, they have sure entertained their fans this season. They have made the Orlando Stadium a fortress. I was quoting you their numbers of like only losing 1 match at home, only dropping points in 1 match at home this season, and that's not this home. I'm talking about the Amstel Arena. I'm going to have to get used to saying that. Yeah. Now, it's not, Tashik Matthews, it's not unusual for great rivals to share a ground, to share a stadium. We know famously in Italy, Inter Milan and AC Milan share the San Siro.
Yeah.
It's not something that you'll find happening a lot, though. And there's always been, when Sundowns wanted to use the stadium here for a home game in the Cup Champions League, there was all kinds of strife in that one about which dressing room they ended up using. I'm told that tonight they were given the Kaizer Chiefs dressing room. That's normally the home dressing room. By the way, we have a goal tonight in the other match. Stellies have taken the lead. Kevin Hunter looks to be turning things around out there. Got a big win as well in the Nedbank Cup, didn't he? Because Aubrey Modiba goes in on Spelebele. Good tackle, good clean tackle.
You want to see, that's why Coach Kadio is uploading that, you want to see that type of aggression. Because also that tells you a lot about the mentality that your players have on the day of the game. You don't want to lose. It's also, you want to fight for the ball back, and once you have the ball, you also want to run a little bit more just to create enough space. And those are the type of game temperament that you're expecting from these 2 teams.
Yeah, well, Mamelodi Sundowns are going to have to show their pedigree here in terms of the players who have got experience of playing these type of games. Not against a big opponent, but when a lot is at stake.
Yeah.
And tonight is one such game.
Yeah. And they're from one again, over the weekend.
Yes.
So, where there was a lot on stake, so they just have to continue with it.
Speaking of big games, there's another coming up next weekend, of course, for Orlando Pirates against Kaizer Chiefs, who crashed out of CAF Club competition at the weekend. Now, as just dilly-dallied on the ball too much there. The flag has stayed down here. What a challenge. Oh, my goodness. What does the referee say? He says he got the ball. Oh, my goodness. That is some high-risk defending, but wow. I tell you, that could easily have gone so wrong. The Sundowns tried to play the offside trap there, but the flag stayed down and Maswanganyi was in on goal, but the recovery tackle there, we'll see it in a moment. Could be a chance here. Brian Leon! Oh, from one end to the other, from nearly conceding, they go and score at the other end. It's 3 goals in 3 matches for Brian Leon.
And we spoke earlier about the inclusion of Santos into the team. We spoke about the creative spark that he has to bring into the team, the one that has been missing when he was suspended. When you see this goal, you look at his pass, you look at the run, you look at the delay also, because the London Pirates are trying to play also that high line. You look at the run that this man, Leon, has to make, and for Santos to be able to find him, but also he still had work to do inside the box, to be able to control and finish at an awkward angle. You see here the patient build-up, but look at where Santos finds himself. Out wide, creating space, realizing that in the middle is too congested. But look at the time that he's buying. Look at Leon making that run, because Siema also plays on one side, but he still had a lot of work to do.
Oh, what a finish.
Yeah.
What a finish. And they take the lead. The Mamelodi Sundowns. Brian Leon, a Colombian. And it's a wonderful finish there. I suppose you put it the one place where you could have actually scored, but Sikwa Chain had covered the near post.
Yeah.
That's an excellent finish. That's 3 goals in 3 Premiership matches for Leon, and of course he scored now in back-to-back matches as well, having scored at the weekend. And now Pirates find themselves having to chase the game.
And also maybe just to speak of the magnitude of the game, TT, it is a game of small margins. If you look at all of the number of chances that they had when able to punish, of course, Ronald Williams was the biggest culprit in terms of making those type of saves. But look at Mamelodi Sundowns, one opportunity, real clear goal-scoring opportunity, they're able to punish. Look at here, this is the man also that anticipated that ball, but here, Tito, I think that
poor touch
as well, just allowed Ndamani to be able to make that type of tackle. But you rightfully said, anything could have gone wrong here, but the referee alluded as to then he got to the ball first.
That is an excellent tackle actually from Kurban Ndamani. I mean, in the end, he took man as well, but he got ball first. And Chabani, to be fair to the referee Alfred Chabani, he was well placed to make that call. Confirmation of the score there. Leon in the 37th minute of the game gives Mamelodi Sundowns, the defending champions, the lead. Now that makes things interesting. And makes this interesting because we have a game on our hands here, because Pirates will have to come now and chase the game.
Yeah, and then, but they've been in this situation, okay, before in the first round, TT, where Mamelodi Sundowns led with Peter Chalilile, but they're able to come back. But yet again, this is very, very different. Looking at the, the standings on the log, becomes very, very different. But yet again, we'll see as to then, will they still be able to counter-press? That is Orlando Pirates.
There's that swing I was talking about, 6-point swing. You win, and it's a 3-point gap. Lose, and the gap is now 9 points suddenly to Mamelodi Sundowns, to Orlando Pirates. So there's a lot at stake here. Huh? Jaden Adams. Kurizumudau. Santos. It's a fabulous pass to pick out Brian Leon. Space here for Aubrey Mutiba down this right-hand side. Looks to slip in Ryan. Whoa! Leon on the double. Aubrey Mutiba with a fabulous pass to slip him in. And this is super quality stuff. This is ruthless stuff from Mamelodi Sundowns. The champions are turning it on at FNB Stadium. Ronald Williams has run the length of the field to come and bow down before the Colombian, forming his own cartel. The man could make it easy.
4 goals in what? In 4 days. Such a great run from Leon. Again, we spoke about him, his characteristics as a player that really likes to make those type of runs over the shoulder with enough space and time with Mamelodi Sundowns in that midfield. Look at Aubrey also hugging the line, also on the right-hand side of Orlando Pirates, but look at the run that he makes behind Siema yet again. Unable there in the first instance where Sibisi was able to cover him, but this time around, I think this brilliant ball being played by Odiba there. Look at this man making sure that he gets into that tackle.
We have seen two quality goals. The construction and the finish. High quality stuff. What a find this man is proving to be for Mamelodi Sundowns. Now, Orlando Pirates suddenly find themselves 2 goals down. Well, Abdeslam Ouaddou hasn't been in this situation many times. They're having to chase the game. They've only conceded first in a game on 2 occasions.
And you're right, Titi. I mean, this is a team that doesn't concede much, really, and they really not a team that we got to accustomed to see them, chasing the lead. And it's going to take a lot out of them to be able to come back into a two-goal deficit. That Mamelodi Sundowns will try and control the tempo of the game, slow it down, defend with the ball. So it's going to be very challenging for Orlando Pirates players to be able to come back. But they do have the quality. We've seen the quality.
Yes, Matthews now. But Sema will get there first this time. And they've given away possession again. Orlando Pirates could be trouble here. As a Leon look to turn provider. Still Sundowns in possession. Orlando Pirates, or rather Mamelodi Sundowns, have not won back-to-back matches away from home all season. The last time they managed back-to-back wins away from home was in May. Can they hold on here, or can Pirates produce a spectacular comeback? Remember, they were down a goal when they last met. Victoria there, with young Cameron Danson producing an absolute corker of a goal to level the score. Both goals came in the first half in that game, by the way, as well. As Modiba looks to glide past Bilibili. We are approaching half-time as well here. Now Tashik Matthews, Tapelo Morena. A rare opportunity to see Tapelo Morena and Kuriso Mudau starting. And same game, generally they replace each other.
Yeah, but also with throughout the season we've seen Tapelo Morena being able to occupy too many positions.
Here is Modiba. Can he? Oh, Salam's on the hammer, but Bilibili wasn't fooled as Matthews sees his eyes lit up as the ball bobbled in front of him, but put way too much on it. Orlando Pirates. Sipoche. We're going to have a minimum of 3 minutes. That's the confirmation from our 4th official, Abraham Mashala. When conceding first, which has only happened on 3 occasions this season. They've lost, it's happened only on 2 occasions this season, and they've conceded first, Orlando Pirates, and they've lost 1 and drawn 1. In the Premiership. In cup competitions, they did concede first 3 times, and they lost 2. They drew 2 and lost 1 of those matches. That's Pirates that I'm referring to. so they are having to show their powers of recovery here. The team not accustomed to trailing. For Sundowns, from a Sundowns perspective, this is the 11th time they've scored first in a game in the Premiership this season. They've gone on to win 8 of those matches, drawn 2, and are yet to lose a match when scoring first this season. That shows you their ability to control games and to protect leads. And they've got a very healthy one here at 2-0. But you know that old cliche that football cliche, that is, I'm not sure is rooted in science or fact, that 2-0 is a dangerous lead or a precarious lead. As the theory goes that you concede one, and soon the team that just pulls one back, suddenly their tails are up and they're buzzing, and before you know it, it's 2-all. Well, Pirates are going to need to try and get a goal soon here. They don't want to go in at least a 2-1. It's a very different conversation in the dressing room to when you are trailing 2-0. Matthews cuts inside. Jaden Adams lets it run, and he gets a return ball! You can see what he tried to do, poke it just outside, with outside of the boot. That's another great passage of play. This is more like the Sundowns we have become accustomed to seeing now. Great fluidity to their play.
Exactly, with the Santos being the orchestrator there in that midfield, being able to spot that man, Jaden Adams. I thought maybe could have left it to his left foot because the defender was on his right foot. Just let it be, and maybe to try and, but also when you're inside the box, to try and maybe take it as quickly as possible.
The ball comes in. Oh! Just trying to put something in it to steer it past. The keeper Maswanganyi, it was popped up in the most advanced position there. Also on the score sheet over the weekend. Got a goal with those. So a little bit.
Runs inside there. Very difficult to be able to track those runners because the onside already have the momentum, and also if the pass is equally good as well, it makes the things very, very difficult defensively. But
had some big calls in this first half to make the Jelly Chavani, Alfred Chavani as he prefers to be called these days, and he blows the whistle for half-time. And goodness, what a first half! What a fascinating first half of football. Entertaining for sure, and it's Sundowns that have been on top, but playing it very differently. And they've heard Orlando Pirates. I'm almost tempted to say that the signs were there. We saw it against Maruma Gallants, that the dangers of getting caught on the break like that are there. But that will be something for our team in studio to discuss at the break. This man also has to take a lot of credit for the situation right now. Made 2 great saves. They're going to or protect what they've got.
I think for Sundowns, it's just to continue, maybe get to one gear up a little bit, just to allow Orlando Pirates to get back into the game. Continue with those overloads on the side where clearly Orlando Pirates are failing to defend. I guess for Orlando Pirates, it's just to understand that there are parts, especially from Sibile's side, because it's not a natural right back. That's where they were getting more exposed because he tucks in too much. Maybe a little bit of a substitution, maybe an original right back maybe can come into the fold and be able to have that. But as to going forward, it's all the chances that you may create in the second half, make sure that you punish, because you looked as to how Mamelodi Sundowns punished you with all those 2 chances that they had. We're able to punish. You had 3 chances, and of course Ronald Williams was the metal. He's the one kept them in the game, but you need to be able to be clinical.
We're back underway here at the FNB Stadium. If you've just joined us, my goodness, where have you been? It is Mamelodi Sundowns wearing a yellow. It's Orlando Pirates again is underway in the old black strip. As Mnyamangengani, while Sundowns are wearing the yellow strip now, and with yellow shirts with white shorts, now attacking the goals to the right of your picture. Well, 7 of their 9 league wins this season for Mamelodi Sundowns have come by 2 or more goals, and they have not conceded in 7 of these games. In all 7 where they've been victorious, they have not conceded a goal. That is quite a record. Well, the 3 games that they've been played between these 2 sides this season have all ended in a 1-all draw. Of course, 2 of them having been in the MTN 8 semi-finals, and then the Premiership clash out at Loftus. And that also in a 1-1 draw. Chance here! Oh my goodness, Putuma rattles the crossbar again. Another great chance from Putuma. And this time denied by the frame of the goal. It's his goal. He could have, deflection! Huge deflection! And it's another deflected goal for Tito Maswanganyi. Huge deflection that it took, as it did over the weekend. And there's nothing Ronwen Williams could do about that. And wow, just after Putuma rattled the woodwork, that is just what Pirates needed. The early goal.
Yeah, I mean, the early goal. Look at the ball being played. Nice ball being played by Apollo's there. Putuma could have done better. And yet again, you know, they're winning that second ball. It still finds them in an attacking positions. But for Tito, again, just taking those chances outside the box. We spoke a little bit earlier. You know, I heard Stiger speaking about the number of goals that Orlando Pirates have scored outside the box. And this man here, Tito, caused with a deflection as well. Just troubled Ronwen Williams. But this is the goal that they needed. 80 on to the second half. Just so intent that they can actually come back into the game. You can see Davis that they're trying to block that one. There was nothing there that Ronwen Williams could have done.
Goes in back-to-back matches then for Tito Maswanganyi. And he has brought Pirates right back into it. I was just saying how Sundowns, the games that they've won this season, they've kept a clean sheet in all those games that they've won this season. Well, that has changed things a bit now. It was a bit of a sucker punch, of course, and always unlucky when you concede a goal via such a heavy deflection.
It comes back to that TT we spoke about earlier, as to that when you ask me, what is it that other players need to do in the second half? As to make sure that you punish whenever you get your chances. Of course, this came on when Orlando Pirates won the second ball that really got them in also attacking plays. But for Putuma to be able to miss that ball just under really, under maybe like 1 minute into the second half, you need to be able to be ruthless and be able to punish. But this man here, back-to-back goals, show his confidence is high now. You will be trying to get more into the ball just to spark some sort of, confidence within the team going forward.
5 goals for Patrick Maswanganyi then this season, 6 goal involvements in total, and that will have Pirates now. That will give them a massive boost of confidence. They needed an early goal, and the early goal was the last thing that Mamelodi Sundowns would have wanted. They would have just wanted to consolidate a little bit and try to build on that lead. And now they'd best be careful. Perhaps that old theory about a 2-0 lead is about to be proven yet again. Mamelodi Sundowns, might remember in the Champions League at home to Al Hilal Omdurman, also held to a 2-2 draw in a game that they scored. They twice had the lead, and twice were picked back against Al Hilal Omdurman. Ended up drawing that match 2-2. Could be John Hotto is in here. Looks like they're going to need something a little bit more special than that to beat Ronwen Williams when he's been in the kind of form that he's shown tonight.
I think it was caught the offside there. That is Hotto. Really delayed a second just to play Hotto on, because he had an opportunity here. It was a little bit earlier on, and then right now you can see that with Mudau holding the line, or Morena rather in that instance, he found Hotto in the offside position.
To remind you that Mamelodi Sundowns have not lost a game in which they have scored first this season, and they've had the lead on 10 occasions in their 15 games this season. They've won 8 and drawn 2. Still have a long way to go yet in this one. To really concede first, they conceded 2. Yeah, that's a great ball now to pick out Hotto, and the pace of Mokoena, or rather Morena, tracking back to help out in defense. He might find himself able to maybe do a lot more defending in the second half, because it looks as if Hotto is connecting forward a lot more at the start of the second half. The team effort there from Mtangela. Neither one thing nor the other, but in the end it goes straight through to Ronald Williams. Last time the Sundowns scored first and went on to lose a match was in March 2022. Got the knack as well, of course, like the Pirates. Both these two sides have a knack for scoring first half goals as well. Sundowns have had 11 goals before tonight in the first half. And as for second half goals, it's Pirates. And both these sides have got a fair share, 11 for Pirates and 13 for Sundowns in the second half. Now picking out Modiba. Turn Matthews. Toss. Samson, a pass for Modiba to chase here. Modiba's ball will be plucked out of the air by Sipho Chain. Sipho Chain, who, by the way, has never kept a clean sheet in the game against the London Pirates. Another against Mamelodi Sundowns since joining the Pirates. And even his days playing for Celtic, he only managed one clean sheet. Only managed one clean sheet in his times at Wimbledon Celtic in matches against Mamelodi Sundowns. And he was playing in his 101st Premiership game. Brought up the century against Marumo Gallants at the weekend. Cheeky ball there as it starts to bounce. It can go anywhere, and Damani just fails to control there. On a very tricky bit of pitch there. They're very sandy in that corner there. Palace now playing it with Maswanganyi. Almost threading it through from Butuma. So Palace put on one for Butuma in that first half by putting a beautiful cross for him.
Also the second half again, because he was also the player that put on that cross the way Butuma actually hit the upright.
And again, so twice Butuma could have scored from Oswin Apollo's assist. They won't mind as long as they did get a goal from that passage of play. Kuriso Mudau. Lorena calling for it. It's a poor pass from Kuriso Mudau. Kaula stopped in his tracks by Tashrik Matthews. Tashrik Matthews. That's sloppy from both teams there. In possession. Then they fluff their lines there, Mamelodi Sundowns, with that final ball. Now they've got some defending to do, because here comes Maswanganyi. Plays it with Rele Mofokeng. Maswanganyi keeps his run going. Mofokeng cuts inside. This is where he can be very dangerous when he cuts in onto his left boot, on his right boot, as Maswanganyi goes offside.
I think also because he spends such a high confidence that it's Mofokeng. Once you cut in there, you need to be able to pull the trigger. You need to have confidence enough to still continue. If you don't hit the target, but you need to work on it, of course, at training. But those are the areas that, because Mofokeng is one of the superstars that is not giving too much time on the ball, especially in those type of areas. But once you have it, you need to be able to pull the trigger just to force a save there from Ronald Williams. But Maswanganyi, again, working very hard in and around that midfield to try and make those runs. Also, maybe, connect as well with Mofokeng and Mtangela in that midfield.
As we hit 10 minutes in the second half, Oswin Apollos coming alive. He's come alive at the start of the second half. Can he keep that in play? Answer is no. Goal kick. Goal kick, Mamelodi Sundowns. Oswin Apollos was drifting in and out of the game in that first half, but I think he's coming out. He's now starting to grab the game by the scruff of its neck. I'm sure Paris fans would like to see more of Rele Mofokeng get on the ball, especially facing the fullback. In possession again here. Pirates, it's another good ball to pick out Mbutuna, who's offside this time. Gets into some good positions there to allow for the ball to pick him out. Just going a little early there, and Sundowns playing the offside trap well on this occasion. Got caught out in the first half when Maswanganyi found himself in on goal after when the flag stayed down, but Ronwen Williams produced another brilliant save. To Ronwen Williams. Beaten their last two away games under the Sundowns. Played 8 matches away from home this season, and they've won 3, drawn 4. And suffered just the 1 defeat away from home. So we're told that the attendance tonight is just under 50,000. That's 49,000. Just over 49,000. A very good crowd in for a school night. Cleared away by CMA. Mofokeng's brought down by Jaden Adams, who is going to be booked for his trouble. Jaden Adams joins Tebo Mokoena in the book.
Yeah, he knew he was coming after that tackle. You can see they're just looking away. They knew it was coming.
Three yellow cards so far in the game. 2 have gone to Sundowns players. Alfred Chabani, who I think has got most of the calls right in this game, but especially got a couple of big ones that he had to make. I think he was spot on. Sundowns have scored 48 goals in all competitions this season, in 28 games in all competitions. They have managed to be on the score sheet in their last 8 games, and as the flag is up again for offside. Yep, just getting caught offside on a couple of occasions here. Need to show a bit more awareness here and be a little bit more clever about how they play this. Not watching their line. As we hit the hour mark here at the FNB Stadium. Orlando Pirates 1, Mamelodi Sundowns 2. Now at the other end could be problems here as Brian is in. By the way, he's on a hat-trick. But Pirates regroup in defense. Matthews works it wide to Mutiba. And good work there by Makaula to intercept. There's a shot from range! change, and it'll fall for Morena. But good recovery from Dion Otto there. That was quite a shot.
I mean, it was a range where we've seen Debs pulls the trigger there.
Another yellow here. It's Grant Kekano's furious with the decision, and he'll do well to just calm himself down here. He's been booked already. He'll do well. He'll get a second yellow if he's not careful here. He's calling him back. He's calling him back. Grant Kekana could be in trouble here. He says, come here. I think Grant Kekana better count to 10 here. Unless he go for an early shower. In fact, Alfred Chawani there probably showed a lot more leniency than a lot of because he gave him a real mouthful to Grant Kekana. You can see what is happening off the ball, and you saw it happening there. Him wrestling with Mbutuma. Now they're going to make a change. Mamelodi Sundowns. We'll get your thoughts in a second now on what needs to, what the thinking is from Cardoso as they are preparing to bring on Marcelo Allende. Pirates, we believe, are also going to make a change. It's about that time when you hit the hour mark when the changes happen. Jaden Adams picks out Mokoena. Moren. Santos will make way for Marcelo Allende. So this is tactical, I imagine, Dico Medisa, because these are two different players. And Tsepang Remy is going to come on to give the Sundowns defenders just something else to think about here. That's from Santos for Mokoena. Lamani to Modiba. Good work from Santos here. Nice feet there. Now Jaden Adams can control it. Recovered by Tapelo Moren. We're hearing it'll be Tito Maswanganyi to make way for Tsepang Moremi. Brian Leon now. Maswanganyi, this could be his last contribution. Apollos picks it up. Maswanganyi. And interception from Mokoena, but it's still Pirates' ball. Mufuki leaves the ball behind for a Sundowns player. Brian Leon. Double teamed there. And the referee has given a free kick. The changes will happen now. We don't generally see him get involved in tackles. He's usually on the receiving end of tackles. Now, Allende coming on for Nuno Santos. Your thoughts on that one and the change of, well, of course, Tsepang Moremi will just inject a little bit of pace down the flanks here. Just your thoughts on these two changes.
I guess from Mamelodi Sundowns' perspective is just to maybe keep more control on the ball, control of the tempo as well, because we know that Allende is one of those players that organizes play, you know, keep things calm, keep things moving. And with that combination of him, Tibbs, and Jaden Adams, that midfield, they'll be able to just keep the ball and just defend with the ball as well. And I think from Orlando Pirates, you're rightfully saying with Moremi, just inject a little bit of speed going forward, because you need that maybe just to try and manipulate the spaces that Mamelodi Sundowns leave at behind whenever they're going forward. But also, one thing that I've also noticed with Orlando Pirates, they're not pressing high anymore. They're allowing Mamelodi Sundowns to get that ball. And at that then, Mamelodi Sundowns will control the tempo, will slow things down. That will enable Orlando Pirates to be able to, you know, to use this counter, because then they don't Mamelodi Sundowns is not actually, adding more numbers going forward to leave the spaces behind.
Mutiba gets that to that one first. We have now just under 25 minutes remaining. Still a lot of football to be played. Allende. Jaden Adams trying to play it in for Morena, who's looking for the run of Tapulo Morena. Spacey playing it back to Super Chain and get a bit of pressure with Brian Leon. Namani. Paul is catching Tewo Mukwena there. But I think he had his eyes on the ball. I think the main was that it was intentional.
He had his always eyes on the ball.
Stays down, does Tewo Mukwena. Well, you know what it is. It's a Betway Premiership where you make people winners. And a big winner tonight is Justice Mulibat, the Buccaneer there. He might not be smiling at the end of the game because of the result as things currently stand, but he will be smiling all the way to the bank with 20,000 rand because he is a Betway account. He's got an active account. So he gets the 10,000 bonus. What's this? The call here is a corner. It's gone for a corner. A rare visit into the second half into Pirates box for Mamelodi Sundowns. It's Obri Mudiba that's lining it up. Comes in, gets up, wall, and it comes off the crossbar. And then the whistle saw, the referee saw something in there. It was Ndamani that got up for that one. And now has he got the cramps in?
I think he got the cramp there, but it wasn't Ndamani that went up.
Got up very well, actually.
Yeah. Look at that.
Matthews nearly getting in the way of, the Chain was a beaten man there.
Also, Chinese had a little bit of a touch there with the fingertips. And, we know the Mamelodi Sundowns, it's a team who also that normally don't score via corner kicks. And I don't think Orlando Pirates have conceded a goal via corner kicks. So for him, Ndamani, to find himself free inside the box, clearly, Orlando Pirates had problems in terms of defending that.
And I think Coach Wadu must get massive credit for that and how Pirates have managed to deal with their frailties at set piece time, especially from corners. Really, that was a shot from Mukwena.
Yeah.
He really got a hold of that one. And reaction, from the front men of Sundowns wasn't quick enough. Should have anticipated a bit better.
Yeah, that should have. And also maybe China as well maybe might be a little bit disappointed himself because you'd want to carry it on the side.
Now, Ronan Williams reacted quickest there. Let's see what is indicating about the knee. There's some kind of a signal. Goes long, does Ronan Williams. It's a hard fall there. Was Makaula and Ryan Leon. I wonder what language that conversation is happening in. And imagine that Ryan Leon's English is very strong. Not yet.
I guess anger has its own language as well.
The language of anger is universal.
Yeah.
A double change coming from Mamelodi Sundowns, Temba Zwane and Keegan Johannes. Now the two players being prepared, so a defensive change. they're preparing to bring on a defender and, of course, the creative guy and skill of the one they call Shigabala, Musheshe Tembazwani, slowly making his way back to fitness. There are the two Bobs in the background. Two Bob, it's Steak and Marawa. Bobby Mudau and Robert Marawa in attendance. So the double change will happen now. And Kurumani Damani, is this himself an injury or what the story here, as Nimtangela invites him to hurry up, helps him off the field, and Tashik Matthews gets a man who's the only Sundowns player who started every game this season. Tashik Matthews has been involved in 8 goals, 4 goals and 4 assists, and then makes way for Keegan Johannes. So is it too early? As Cardoso says, put your head up, you did well. To let him know that this is tactical, it's not a reflection on his performance. He also gets a... I wonder if he's done himself an injury here, because maybe that's what the signal was from Ronald Williams. He doesn't look very comfortable.
Yeah, he doesn't look comfortable, but nonetheless, I think he has done well for the minutes that he has played. And Ioannis as well, that is, we've seen, you know, throughout the season as well, where he's been used as a centre-back. So it's new centre-back pairing for Kekana and Ioannis.
Bituma tangling there with Grant Kekana. Will get the throw in. Bituma. Paulus, they've taken it quickly there, Paulus now. It's Billy Bill. Makaula. Good running here from Makaula. It's just a difficult, I think that went, did that stay in? It did stay in, but it's gone out for a throw in. Just it was difficult to control it in the run there. The cramps. It's a signal, is it? Looks like it's, I think looks like he's cramping. So, here's De Jong, who's about to come on, and who has scored against Pirates in the past. And then we've got 2 goals when Stellies came from behind to beat Pirates, 3-2 actually. They were 2-0 down in that game, and this man, that was at the Orlando Stadium, but now he's been captured by the Buccaneers as De Jong. What role does he play? What does he bring into the game now, Tegumbis?
We know what he brings. I don't think there's anything different that he's going to do the way that he played. He used to play at the Stellies way. He will be trying to manipulate that spaces, just maybe in and around Bituma. And also he's a goal poacher, so when Bituma maybe drags one of the centre backs outside the box, that's when you'll see him, De Jong, getting inside there. But we'll be looking forward to see the combination between him and Mufokeng as to the type of passes that he will be, because De Jong is very, very smart on the ball, very clever, knows how to use the ball very well.
Oswin Apollos is the man that he has replaced. Apollos adding another assist to his number. He's now up to 5 assists. Well, somebody's been watching a lot of CAF Champions League. The green torches are out. Short one there from Mufokeng. John Horto, Ronald Williams punches it away. Tembazwani. Morena switching to play. Just looking for the run of Brian Leon. Quarter of an hour remaining. Getting into those maximum concentration required now. the next goal will be a massive one. Now, quite a few players there that look like they're cramping out there now. And Brian, wonder how long it will be before we see Shalulile. It seems as if it may be Lebo Mutiba to come on first. They've got Lebo Mutiba and Divine Lunga is the other player who looks ready to come on. And of course, a left back. So there we saw Obri Mutiba struggling there a bit, so I guess that's why Lunga is being he's being ready. He's going to come on in a second.
It also gets to show us then the amount of load that the previous game they had against MCR as then, you know, seeing players cramping like this and playing also a game of this magnitude with so much pressure, you know, so many legs that needs to be put in. So it does really take a toll. So let's see if the substitution will keep the tempo there as for Sundowns, also to be able to keep that lead that they need.
Morena is tracked back there to help out at the back now. All hands on deck. I get the sense that Sundowns have gone rather defensive. Maybe that's why you bring on a Mutiba to offer them a focal point up front and just somebody to keep the defenders busy, because Brian has still run his race and now he picks up a yellow just as he's about to make his way off the field. Temba Zwane takes control, the captain of the situation there. That's naughty from Leon. Very naughty.
And I think that's not the initial foul that he gets a yellow for. It's the second one after, because this was blown for a foul. And then the ball, I guess, also fell on to Siema, that he also considered a foul. But this was the goal that he scored, the second goal that he played. I think the brilliant ball being played by Obri Mutiba. You know, Siema being unable there just to intercept that ball, but this man, Leon, coming in there with that tackle to make sure that he gets at the end of that ball. Very dangerous ball, very, very difficult ball to be able to defend.
That was some pass from Obri Mutiba. And the finish as well was something to behold. So Lunga is on, and Obri Mutiba is the man who's gone off. So there's a straight swap there. Mutiba still can walk away, he's off the stretcher now. And Lebo Mutiba comes on for his seventh appearance of the season, his sixth off the bench. And he's got one goal so far in the league for Mamelodi Sundowns, the man from Tembisa. That has spent most of his career in Europe, in France in particular. For his first touch of the ball there. Otto playing it with Makaola. Nice little ball over the top, and Butuma could be in here. Tried to control it. Just that first touch got it wrong, but the flag was up again. There's quite a number of times that they've been caught offside on Orlando Pirates. 7 times.
Yeah, because here on, I think he was onside.
I think he was onside. I don't know that he was offside there.
I think he was onside there.
Just miscontrolled the ball there. 7 is not a high number though of offside. And that's obviously a plan that Sundowns have worked on. There's a player down for Pirates, Sibilibili. cramps there as well. 10 minutes, just well, 9 minutes now to go. As things stand, the gap at the top will close to 3 points. There's 10 minutes to go yet in the game, or just under 10 minutes plus whatever time will be added on for by the referee. Really will make way. Wonder whether he will be replaced. Yep, he might be, because Dino van Rooyen is ready to come on. So what happened with the Sbilibili there? Did you spot anything, or is it just cramps?
I think it's just cramps, or something maybe just happened maybe prior to that, because I didn't spot. I just saw him on the floor. But also bear in mind that he hasn't been playing regular football, and coming to a game like this, you know, so much pressure, you know, so much intensity, you know, such is expected from a player that hasn't been playing football.
So a double change coming up for Orlando Pirates. Chris Modau. Allende plays it with, when they call him Dada. That's Divine Lunga. Just trying to manage the game, as they say. Anyway, the relegation battle game there out in the Cape is at 1-1 now. Magesi have drawn level in that one, and here it's still 2-1. Now Zwane slowed it right down now. The game has slowed right down. Allende. There's two players that have been waiting to come on, are still there, Van Rooyen and Sendami. Referee stops play, and it's going to be, will allow the changes to happen now. The father's given a free kick against Andre de Jong. On comes Dino van Rooyen, who started the game against also another one who's trying to make his way back from injury, and Botuma's races run can count himself a little unlucky not to have been on the score sheet tonight to this.
Of course, especially in the first half. Of course, we can may forgive him for the second half one, because then Tito Osaganya was able to score, but I guess from the first half he had plenty of chances, maybe two of them, could have at least buried one, especially being a player also that has been on the score sheet in a couple of weeks for Orlando Pirates.
And he hit the upright there early in that passage of play that led to the goal by Maswanganyi. There's a free kick for Sundowns to Zimbabwean internationals. They're two players who had the Nations Cup together, Sendami and Lunga.
Yeah, they were in this camp together in the national team, and Sendani as well, that is yet to really make an impact, still new to the team. A lot is expected from him. Great talent that has been brought into this Orlando Pirates side.
That's the man, well, I tell you, Wadu has raided his former club. Nemta Jela, Sendami,
and Chabatani as well.
Chabatani as well, yeah. And now, that's why also Ghanaians are finding themselves really struggling at the minute. They've really been up against it of Morumo Ghanaians. who made it, of course, to the final of the Black Label Cup against Orlando Pirates. They lost to Orlando Pirates. One or two trophies that Pirates have already got in the bag. And they're working on two, but they have been shown here tonight that it's not going to be an easy fight for this one. That is the Betway Premiership trophy. The 15-time champions are not going to let it go without a big fight, looking for their 9th title in a row. Stembazwani late on De Jong there. He's given away a set piece, a free kick in a position that will allow Pirates to float the ball into the box here. Tiba is helping out at the back there. Sendami going the wrong way. Space popping up on the left wing. Mofokeng, by his normally very high standards, is at a quiet game. Suspicion of offside there, but the referee's flag stayed down. The man goes down there is Sendami. But no big appeals for anything. No.
But also the referee, his positioning as well is not too far from the play.
And I think that's been the case for most of the game. He's been spot on and well positioned to make the big calls. To the last 2.5 minutes of this one. Hearing we're going to have a minimum of 3 minutes to be added on at the end of this half. Mamelodi Sundowns have dropped 6 points from winning positions in this season. Only Chippa United and Makesi with 8 have dropped more points. That's an unusual statistic for a team like Mamelodi Sundowns.
Had to show you the difficulties that they've had this season, the challenges that they had to face. But whenever they've been called upon in a game of significance, game of such magnitude, they're able to step up and they'll be able to, challenge. And this is exactly what they're doing tonight against a high-flying Orlando Pirates.
Orlando Pirates, 14 matches unbeaten coming into this one. Offside. Yet again, caught offside. I think give credit to Mamelodi Sundowns. They have played that offside trap to perfection.
They remind me of, I think it was Xavi's offside line that he had in Barcelona, where they were ridiculous with that offside line. And you look at here, you need to have so much discipline. You need to have that synergy within the, the defensive line to be able to know that, your front man, the person that you see in front, is the one that holds the line. You can't be holding the line from the back.
So I think it's a plan that's been executed. Happy people till we die. It does not look happy tonight. And to be fair, there's not been much to enthuse about. Look at that, Molakalit. Friends of Sundowns, it says the sign. Now, it's the snapshot there from Allende, but no real power behind it. Mofokeng tries to get them going forward. Johannes, he's done well here, Johannes. Now we're hearing it's going to be minimum 4 minutes to be added on. Tembazwani. Jaden Adams. Allende. Moren. Not sure what Moren had in mind there, but whatever it was, left a lot to be desired. The coach wasn't too pleased with that either.
I can see that, they're trying to form like a rondo on the side with Allende and Tembazwani. Maybe also knowing that you have Matiba inside the box, maybe you're trying to also get an advantage of that, just to maybe have that element of surprise. But it was no pressure there, could have kept the ball.
Won it back. Mofokeng's frustrations continue. As I said, it has not been his night. up against the very determined Mamelodi Sundowns side here tonight of Orlando Pirates. They knew there's a lot at stake here. They had to stand up. As Van Rooyen can't get it past Lunga. Ayende, he's got Makaula clipping at his heels there. Foul goes against Makaula. That'll take more seconds off the clock. But it was not Makaula, beg your pardon, it was Moremi. Marcelo Ayende, who's come on and actually done exactly what we thought he might do. To control things a little bit there and allowed Sundowns to control possession in midfield. Absalom Wadu, I think, will be the first to admit that, yeah, he's been outfoxed. Sundowns took control of the game very early on, and to be fair, except for the moment when they lost, when they conceded, and after a couple of spells that Pirates had, Sundowns never really lost the grip of this game.
Yeah, they didn't, but also because it is a game of small margins. Once you have your type of opportunities, you need to be able to punish. Because once Mamelodi Sundowns started, scoring, really now the advantage now leans more towards them, and it limits Orlando Pirates going forward. And I guess with those two early on chances, if Orlando Pirates punish, then it's a total different conversation.
Van Rooyen. Now Makaula comes back to Makaula. Oh, mistake by Makaula. It's given away possession here. Tempazwane. They'll just keep it there now. Just want to keep it in the Pirates' half of the field. Makaula approaching with caution, and then he's giving away the free kick now. Just what Tempazwane wanted. Very clever play there from the wily Tempazwane. Tempazwane featuring in only his 8th match of the season. Friends off in attendance here. A little bit awkward to see. Ronwen Williams sends a long one forward. Well, the tough games just keep coming. It's up next for Pirates in the Premiership will be Kaizer Chiefs, the big Soweto derby, live on your World of Champions. Comprehensive build-up, and we're gonna, as always, it's a big occasion, that one, and there's a lot at stake again. This now, well, for the first time in a while, a Soweto derby with plenty at stake. Mutiba just gone too early. Nebaha Mutiba too early with that run, and just offside. We have the 4 minutes is up again according to our clock, and Mr. Chavani looks at his watch and confirms that 4 minutes is up on his clock as well. It's job done. Mamelodi Sundowns, an embattled Mamelodi Sundowns, crazy that I should say an embattled Mamelodi Sundowns, given that they are second on the table. But tonight they've come out with a statement win. Tiko Modise.
It was a statement win indeed. It was a 6-pointer for both teams. You look at Orlando Pirates coming into this game as a team that had carried the momentum. You win this game, you open up a little bit of a gap, you give yourself enough room against your arch rivals, which is Mamelodi Sundowns. Mamelodi Sundowns coming from a back, over the weekend, a very, very tough game against FCL in the Champions League. Coming into this game, knowing that you can't afford to lose this game, they had to step up, and those opportunities that they had, Leon was able there to be able to punish, just to narrow the gap, to keep the league exciting. This is how it looks right now.
So much love and so much respect. Of course, what you are looking here, essentially, we've been watching the national team, Bafana in action, so the players very familiar with one another here, but that's what it means on the table then. Pirates suffer only their second defeat at home. It is their first defeat in 15 matches now. Most impressive as Lebo Mutiba takes the opportunity to practice his French there with Wadu. And yeah, it's really been a massive win for Sundowns. It is a 4th win in 9 matches on the road. And for this man, I think he'll be very satisfied with what he's seen here tonight. He has plotted and come up with a